Shameless Mark. The board member's voice sliced through the ballroom as he stared at Vanessa, who was still smiling. Did you really bring your mistress to the US and introduce her as your wife? Vanessa stood, eyes sharp as she stared down Lisa on the live stream from Arizona. At least he chose me. You? He left laughter rippled. A few investors shook their heads, but Lisa didn't flinch. Quiet, cool, dignified, she lifted an envelope and spoke with steel. Starting now, you have no money. I've frozen every account the room stalled. How were they supposed to operate now? A grand chandelier blazed at the center of a 5-star Midtown Manhattan hotel ballroom. Tables overflowed with top-shelf wine, imported dishes, and hand-picked guests from around the world. Entrepreneurs, investors, a few media personalities. It was set to be a triumphant night for Mark Ramirez, a business gala among the biggest of the year. Mark wore a black tux, hair neat, confidence painted on his face, but the eyes in the room kept drifting to the woman on his arm, the glittering showstopper in a red gown that caught the light. Vanessa. Ladies and gentlemen, Mark boomed from center stage, let me introduce you to my wife, Vanessa. It detonated like a bomb. Guests whispered behind raised hands. Wife? Didn't he already have one back in the States? Lisa? How? For a few stunned seconds, Vanessa only smiled and waved like a queen. Camera flashes cracked like thunder. The pride in her eyes said she'd already won a war most people didn't know was happening. At one table, an American investor frowned. I thought his wife was a doctor, a humanitarian. What is going on? Mark pretended not to hear. He stepped to Vanessa and kissed her hand with theatrical grace. She'll be by my side, not just in life, but in business. Photos spread instantly. Within minutes, #New Mrs. Ramirez trended. Some were stunned, others disgusted. Most wanted to know, where was Lisa, the real wife? Thousands of miles away, in a free clinic on a reservation in northern Arizona, Lisa worked through a line of patients. Kids without antibiotics, elders without access to a physician, families fighting daily just to get by. A nurse hurried over with a phone. Mom, Lisa, have you seen this? Lisa froze. On screen, Mark, arm around Vanessa. Headline, Mark Ramirez introduces his new wife at New York Business Gala. Ice crept into Lisa's hands, but she showed nothing. She offered a small, steady smile and returned the phone. Later, we have lives to care for. She kept moving, though fire burned inside her. Back at the gala, the whispers wouldn't die. Is this even legal? Did they annul the first marriage? If not, this is a scandal. While uncertainty thickened, Vanessa glowed, chatting up bold-faced names like she owned the place. Vanessa, how long have you and Mark been together? A reporter asked. She glanced at Mark, then said, long enough to know he truly loves me. At least now he's got the courage to show it to the world. The words pricked Mark, but he only smiled, feigning confidence he didn't feel. By morning, every major business blog and social feed looped the clip. Memes crowned Mark, the husband who forgot he was married. Others mocked Vanessa as the bold mistress turned wife. What about Lisa? One post read. She doesn't deserve this. A short video of investor reactions went viral. Faces shocked, lips tight, hands stalled over champagne flutes. As the party noise faded, Mark and Vanessa met backstage. See? She whispered, hugging him from behind. I told you this would work. Now they know I'm the only woman by your side, but Mark's face was tight. It's not that simple, Vanessa. My marriage to Lisa isn't annulled. Vanessa paused, then smiled, sweet as poison. Then make it simple. End it. She's not here. I am. Across the country, Lisa began to move. Weeks had flown by in Arizona. Lisa kept her head down, Children stabilized, elders seen, families triaged. Every grateful smile gave her one more reason to keep going, far from the mess she'd left in Manhattan. On her final night at the mission, her friend called, Dr. Monica Brooks, voice braced by worry. "Lisa, you need to see this." Lisa opened Monica's email. A link, she tapped, Mark and Vanessa, fused together at a gilt-edged gala. Headline: Business tycoon Mark Ramirez introduces new wife in New York. Her body went cold. While she offered care to those with nothing, her husband humiliated her in public. "Monica," Lisa said, soft, steady. "Is this what I think it is?" "Yes," Monica sighed. "It's trending everywhere. Friends are asking if it's true, and I'm sorry, some investors messaged me, asking why you weren't beside him." Lisa drew a long breath. "Don't worry. I won't react. Not yet. But I need to fly home." The next morning she left Arizona quietly, telling no one her flight details. In a white blouse and jeans, she sat on the plane, fingers resting over her phone, replaying the image of Mark and Vanessa. Instead of tears, a faint smile found her lips. She wasn't the kind to collapse. She still held the documents, the rights, and, most of all, her dignity. At JFK, her driver met her curbside. "Ma'am, Lisa, everyone's been looking for you." "They think you'll stay silent. Let them wonder," she said. "Silence makes the return louder." At her Greenwich, Connecticut estate, her closest friends, Rachel and Diane, were waiting, angry and hurt. "Unbelievable, Lisa," Rachel snapped, thrusting a tablet at the viral video. "He humiliated you in front of the world." "And now they're floating posts calling Vanessa the fresh face of the company," Diane added, "like you never mattered." Lisa listened in quiet. She poured herself a glass of wine and sat. "If they think I'm finished, they're wrong. I don't lose in games like this." The next morning, Lisa went to her friend and attorney, Frank Carter. "Frank," she said flatly, "prep everything, marriage certificate, power of attorney, every document proving I'm the legal wife and the majority shareholder." Frank blinked, then nodded. "Understood. Do you have a plan?" She shook her head, though her eyes burned with purpose. "I'll build one. This isn't a crying match. It's a battle of minds." "Good," Frank said. "You've been patient long enough. Time to assert what's yours." Back in her room, Lisa regarded the woman in the mirror, tired but unbroken. She touched her own cheek and whispered, "Lisa Ramirez, you're not the loser here." He let go. She grabbed what isn't hers. She opened her laptop and scanned headlines, comments, photos. Every insult hurled at Vanessa looked like opportunity. Every investor's doubt in Mark, another opening. She dressed early, white and navy corporate armor, and walked into Frank's office with a leather briefcase bulging with proof. "Ready?" he asked, a cool smile. "Ready to remind Mark who actually holds everything." The next day, she rose before dawn in a black and white suit, determination bright in her eyes. This wasn't just a day. It was the start of taking back control of everything Mark and his mistress had tried to seize. At a midtown private banking tower, Frank and a handful of trusted staff met her in a glass-walled conference room. Financial managers filed in, nervous, glancing at one another. Lisa took the seat at the head of the long table, slid a brown envelope across the surface, and spread out the documents. "You're wondering why I called you," she began, voice level. "I won't drag this out. Here is my marriage certificate to Mark Ramirez, and here is the special power of attorney he signed long ago, granting me authority over all our joint accounts and company instruments." Faces tightened. A manager finally asked, "Ma'am, are you instructing us to close everything?" Lisa's smile was frost. "Not want, order. Effective today, they don't touch a dime." Freeze all personal accounts, corporate funds, and every credit line they've been using. Managers traded looks. One, Mr. Sanders, nodded. These documents are valid. If we don't comply, we're the ones breaking the law. Murmurs of agreement circled the table. Then it's settled, Frank said. All accounts frozen. Immediately laptops appeared, fingers flew, commands flew down secure lines, transactions locked. Lisa sat, tranquil as a queen, feeling the weight of each step. Heavy, yes, but right. Ma'am, a manager said minutes later, it's done. Every account is frozen. Not even Mr. Ramirez can use them. Lisa's smile returned, quiet, dignified. Good. Remember, neither Mark nor Vanessa moves a cent. Across town, Mark and Vanessa browsed a Fifth Avenue flagship jewelers. Mark slid a platinum card to the cashier, easy confidence on his face. Seconds later, the cashier returned, uneasy. Sir, I'm sorry. Your card was declined. Mark frowned. Impossible. Run it again, swipe. Declined again. Declined again. Declined. Whispers rose. Phones tilted. Cameras blinked. Back in Greenwich, Lisa sat on her veranda, coffee warming her hands as the sun slid low. No gloating on her face, just the calm of a decision sealed. Frank called. It's done, Lisa. The freeze is airtight. Perfect, she said, voice cool. This is only the beginning. Morning in Manhattan. Mark strode into a high-end boutique with Vanessa, determined to show the world their shine. Pick anything, darling, he murmured at her waist. Whatever you want. Vanessa's eyes sparkled. Finally, everyone knows I'm your real queen. She chose a diamond necklace, price tag just north of $500,000. Sir, I'm sorry, but your card has been declined. Side eyes, smirks. A woman muttered, a businessman who can't pay for jewelry. How embarrassing, Vanessa's smile cracked. Mark, what is this? Don't tell me you're out of money. He kept his jaw stiff. A mistake. I have other cards. He tried another. Declined. Another. Declined. Phones lifted higher. Back at their 5-star hotel, they headed to the desk, ready to fix their reservation. The manager met them before the elevators. Mr. Ramirez, I'm sorry. Your suite has been locked. Recent payments declined as well. Mark's eyes flared. I'm a VIP here. I understand, sir. But unless the balance is settled, we can't grant access. The lobby slowed to watch. Vanessa seethed. You're humiliating me. Mark dialed furiously. Bank lines rang busy. Panic pricked. He knew whose hand had moved. Lisa's. That night, he dragged himself to a private dinner with a circle of stateside investors, trying to project control. Midway through, someone asked, Mr. Ramirez, is it true your accounts are frozen? Rumors are everywhere. He forced a smile. Just a temporary glitch. Everything's under control. Vanessa couldn't help the hiss that escaped, loud enough to carry. Under control? You couldn't even pay for the hotel. Don't lie to them. An investor shrugged. If you can't manage your personal funds, why should we trust you with ours? Chairs scraped. People left early. Mark and Vanessa sat alone, shame pooling between them. Back home, Lisa watched the clip of Mark's card getting declined. Comments scrolled, Karma is real. Poor Mistress. Embarrassed too. Frank stood beside her. Right call, Lisa. This is the start. She nodded. Not the last fall, just the first. By morning, the bank's email landed in Mark's inbox. Notice. All accounts and company funds under Ramirez Holdings remain frozen until further notice. Authorized by Mrs. Lisa Ramirez. Mark clutched his head. Vanessa stood over his shoulder, voice ice. If you can't fix this, I might need a man who can. For Mark, it wasn't just business or money slipping away. The woman he'd flaunted against Lisa was already backing toward the door. In a sleek Manhattan office, Mark and Vanessa sat, exhausted, irritable. No answers. As they bickered, one person listened to every word. Daniel Price, Mark's longtime personal assistant. 10 years fetching luxury gifts, arranging travel, smoothing secret meetings. What Mark never knew, Daniel had been Lisa's man all along. While Mark rifled papers, Daniel quietly snapped photos, sending them to Lisa via a secure app. Lisa's phone vibrated, a crisp shot of a document on Mark's desk, a draft share transfer agreement. She smiled. "So, you're shifting my shares to Vanessa, Mark. You never disappoint. I know every move Vanessa paced. Jumpy. Mark, make sure nothing leaks. Someone's listening." Her eyes flicked to Daniel. "Make sure no one hears what we discuss." He smiled, all innocence. "Of course, ma'am." Confidential, always inside, he laughed. He would never betray Lisa, who had always treated him with decency. That night, Daniel called Lisa from his small Queens apartment. "Ma'am, I saw the plan. He's moving shares to Vanessa. If they succeed, you could lose control." Lisa's reply was swift and calm. "Document everything. I'll handle the legal side. They won't succeed." The next day, Mark and Vanessa huddled with 2 attorneys to game out a trust and share transfer. "Once we finalize this," one lawyer said, "Vanessa will be the new majority shareholder. It will remove Mrs. Lisa's control." Vanessa beamed like a child with a prize. "That's exactly what I want." Daniel's recorder hummed in his coat pocket. After the meeting, he sent the audio straight to Lisa. She listened, resolve hardening. "Perfect evidence." "Good work," she messaged back. "Stay low." Let them walk into their own trap. Meanwhile, Mark couldn't shake the feeling of eyes on his back. "Vanessa, there's a leak." She arched a brow. "If there is, it's one of your people." "Find them." They both glanced at Daniel. He smiled. "Want me to double-check the staff?" "Yes," Mark said. "Find the source." Daniel stepped out, grin flickering. They had no idea the leak was standing right in front of them. That evening, in a hushed, white tablecloth spot in Midtown, Mark and Vanessa sat across untouched plates. Vanessa stared into her wineglass until it almost cracked in her grip. "We've been humiliated, at boutiques, at the hotel, with investors. You promised I'd be your queen." Mark exhaled, spent. "You don't understand. Someone's moving against me. Against us. Don't us me," she snapped. "I'm the one people whisper about. I'm the one they laugh at." She leaned in, eyes like knives. "Tell me the truth. Am I just your arm candy? Did you parade me around just to hurt Lisa?" Silence. His non-answer enraged her. "See? Lisa is still your wife. You can't erase her. And I'm the thief in their eyes. No dignity." "Vanessa, I risked everything for you," he said. "I introduced you as my wife. What more do you want?" "Respect," she nearly shouted. "A place where I'm not a joke. But right now, I can't even show I have money or power." She stood, shoved her glass. The crack rang through the room. Heads turned. "Sit down," Mark hissed. "Don't make a scene." "We're not overseas. Don't ruin this." She laughed, bitter and bright. "You already ruined it. If you hadn't lost your own game, I wouldn't be the punchline." Across the room, Daniel watched quietly, snapped a photo, and sent it to Lisa. "They're cracking in public." Lisa smiled at the screen. "Perfect timing. If they destroy themselves, I don't have to rush. They'll do the work for me." They finally checked into a smaller room, paid in cash, yet the fight kept burning. "If you can't fix this," Vanessa said, closing her suitcase, "don't drag me down." "Don't threaten me," Mark said coldly. "I did everything for you." "If you think this is easy, you're delusional." She stared back. "Maybe I'm the only one who ever believed. Maybe you still love Lisa Silence." long and heavy. "If it's still Lisa," Vanessa said, voice breaking, "say it now." "I won't be your decoy." Mark grabbed his coat and left without a word. For the first time, Vanessa sat and cried. "If you won't choose me fully, I'll fight on my own." The next morning, a New York Post gossip column blared, "Scandal at Power Restaurant, American Tycoon, and New Wife Fight in Public." A zoomed photo of their argument sat under a snide question. Is this already crumbling? In her office, Lisa read and smiled faintly. "I don't have to break them. They'll break themselves." Later that day, Mark sat at the head of a long conference table, American and international board members watching him sweat through another explanation. Declined cards, unpaid hotel bills, investors backing away. Vanessa sat beside him, arms crossed, chin high despite the tabloids. "Gentlemen," Mark began, "this is a temporary setback. Within the week, the accounts will be restored and we'll be back to normal." The big screen at the front chimed. "Incoming call. Mrs. Lisa Ramirez." Silence. IT tapped, accept. Lisa's face filled the screen. Crisp suit, cool expression, seated like a queen in her own office. "Good evening, board members," she said, voice calm but cutting. "I'm Lisa Ramirez, Mark's legal wife and the true majority shareholder of Ramirez Holdings." The room erupted in whispers. Mark went pale. "Lisa, this isn't the right time." "This isn't about timing, Mark," Lisa said, unblinking. "It's about truth. While you parade your mistress and humiliate me publicly, my name is still on every paper. I still hold the votes and the shares," a European director leaned in. "Mr. Ramirez, is it true Mrs. Ramirez still holds majority control?" Mark finally nodded. "Then why present someone else as your wife? Why are we dealing with Vanessa when she has no legal standing?" Lisa's smile thinned. "Exactly. I apologize that you were dragged into my husband's mess. From now on, you deal with me." Vanessa couldn't hold back. "Excuse me. I'm with Mark now. I've been standing in for him at events. People recognize me as his wife." Lisa turned a glacier gaze on her. "Wife? Legally? On paper? You're just an interloper. Don't force what isn't yours." Vanessa's mouth fell open. The board stopped seeing her at all. An elder member stood. "If this is true, Mrs. Ramirez, we prefer to deal directly with you. We can't risk our investments on a man who hides the truth and pretends before us." One by one, the board shifted to Lisa's side. "We support you, Mrs. Ramirez. You have our trust." Mark stared in disbelief. How a single video call could sweep away years of courting these people. Lisa's final words cut cleanly. "You chose to show the world your mistress and to leave me. But you can't erase the facts. I hold everything. You made the mistake. I will make it right." The call ended. The boardroom froze. Mark slumped, a hand to his head. Lisa closed her laptop in Connecticut and sipped her coffee. "This is just the start," she told Frank. "Now they know who's in charge. I don't have to shout. My dignity will speak for me." A text pinged Mark's phone in the stunned boardroom. "They know the truth. Lose the board and you lose everything. Choose who to betray, Lisa or Vanessa." He glanced at Vanessa's furious face. Which would he defend? The mistress fueling scandal, or the wife who still owned the ground under his feet? The air was cold at JFK when Lisa's flight touched down from Connecticut to New York proper for meetings. In a simple trench coat and dark shades, she carried a leather briefcase packed with documents, her weapons. Frank called from his office. "Once you face the board and Mark in person, there's no stepping back." "I didn't come to step back," Lisa said, eyes on the skyline. "I came as the owner, not as the wife he tried to throw away." The next day, while Mark and Vanessa sat in yet another meeting with executives, The boardroom doors opened. Heads turned as Lisa entered, chin high, navy suit more elegant than anything in the room. "Good morning," she said, setting her briefcase on the table. "Apologies for arriving uninvited. As majority shareholder, I don't need an invitation." Board members stood to greet her. "Mrs. Ramirez, an honor." Mark nearly fell out of his chair. "Lisa," Vanessa scowled. "What are you doing here?" "You don't belong here anymore." Lisa calmly laid out a marriage certificate, banking documents, the freeze order, and her share certificates. "Proof I am the legal wife. Proof of the freeze. Why you couldn't even pay a hotel bill. And yes, proof I hold the majority shares, which means I'm your boss, not her." She nodded toward Mark, then flicked her gaze to Vanessa. "And you?" "You're just the wrecking ball gasps," a director whispered. "We've been dealing with the wrong woman." Vanessa rallied. "No, I'm with Mark now. People recognize me." "Tabloids, maybe," Lisa said. "But in business and in law, you have no standing." "You helped drag his reputation, and the company I helped build, through the mud." Directors moved to Lisa's side. "With you, we're secure. We can trust our investments again." Mark stared at the table. Vanessa sank into her chair, pale. "You can't do this to me." "I didn't," Lisa said evenly. "You did it to yourself." Staff and media lurked outside. Word of the showdown had spread. When Lisa stepped out, cameras flashed. "Mrs. Ramirez, are you taking back the company?" "I'm not taking it back," she said. "It was never lost. I'm reminding everyone who's in charge." Applause filled the lobby. For the first time, the staff saw the true queen of Ramirez Holdings. Mark rounded on Vanessa after Lisa left. "See what you did? You ruined me. Me?" Vanessa shot back. "You marched me out as your wife. And look who they believe. Her, not you." Inside headquarters, Mark's aura evaporated. Once the center of gravity, he now stood alone in a widening circle of empty space. "Sir," his secretary called, "the Geneva investors cancelled. They'll deal directly with Mrs. Lisa." "What? Again?" Another call. "Mr. Ramirez, due to your situation, we're suspending your credit privileges." His phone trembled in his hand. Blacklisted. Across town, Lisa's temporary offices buzzed. Investors lined the conference room. "Mrs. Ramirez," a German investor said, "we're moving our contracts under your leadership." "Unlike Mark, you have integrity," a businesswoman added. "We can trust you." "Thank you," Lisa said calmly. "This company will never bow to lies again." Staff who once feared Mark now looked to Lisa like sunrise. Vanessa burst into Mark's office. "They're laughing at me too." "If this is how it is, why did I stick with you?" Mark snapped. "You made it worse." "If I hadn't introduced you as my wife, we wouldn't be here." "Excuse me?" "You owe me," she said, chin high. "Without me, you'd have drowned in your own misery over Lisa." Before they could explode, a board member entered, voice glacial. "Mr. Ramirez, the board has voted to reduce your influence." Effective today, Mrs. Lisa Ramirez has final say on all major decisions. "You can't do this," Mark barked. "I built this company." "You built it with her," the director replied, "and she's proven she deserves it more." When the door closed, Mark's fist thudded the desk. His hands shook. He wanted to blame Lisa for turning everyone against him, but in the quiet, he knew the truth. His greed, his pride, his betrayal had done the work. Vanessa sank onto the sofa. "We're sinking. If you don't act, I'm not going down with you." Across town, the board met with Lisa. The chairman spoke first. "Mrs. Ramirez, you're more than a legal wife. You're a leader. We stand by you." Lisa rose. "Thank you for the trust. I'm not doing this just for myself, but for the company, our employees, and our family's name, long dragged through lies. The room applauded. For the first time, the crown fit her head and stayed. One afternoon in New York City, Vanessa met her closest friend, Clarice, a well-heeled socialite who'd lived in the States for years. They chose a pricey cafe popular among business elites. From the outside, it looked like two fashionable women catching up. Every word Vanessa spoke, though, carried risk. "Clar," Vanessa murmured, leaning back, "everyone thinks I'm just the mistress. They have no idea my plans go farther." Clarice blinked. "What does that mean?" Vanessa's smile turned sly. "Mark? I'm using him. Sure, he's good for image, but my true target is the company. Once his name is finished, I'll step in. I'll be the face of Ramirez Holdings." Clarice's eyes went wide. "Vanessa, that's dangerous. How?" Vanessa twirled her wine glass slowly. "Simple. Mark is desperate. He'll cling to me. While I use that weakness, I'll collect support from everyone around him. The day will come. He won't be CEO. I will." At a nearby table sat Daniel, Mark's assistant, Lisa's quiet spy, cap pulled low, coat plain. He listened, expression blank, and started an audio recording. Click. "You heard me," Vanessa said under her breath. "I'll use Mark like a puppet." Daniel's mind snapped around one thought. Is this the bullet Lisa needs? Vanessa wasn't done. "You know what, Claire? I'm used to being looked down on. Home wrecker, mistress, every name in the book. But when I'm running the company, they'll bow to me. I'll be the woman who won everything." Clarice shook her head, anxious. "But what if Lisa fights back?" "She's not easy to beat." Vanessa laughed, cold, arrogant. "Lisa's strong, sure, but she doesn't have what I do. I'm beside Mark, and I know all his weaknesses. I'll use each one to hurt her." Daniel slipped out without drawing attention, hurried to his small apartment, and called Lisa on the secure line. "Ma'am, I've got something important. I heard Vanessa's plan. She doesn't just want Mark. She wants the company. She wants him as her puppet." Lisa was quiet, her breath steady but heavy. "Good work, Daniel." "That confirms it. Mark isn't my only opponent. She is too." "What should I do?" "Wait. Let her reveal her true colors. When she admits it where people can hear, I'll make the fall public." That night, Vanessa returned to the place she shared with Mark. He sat there, tired, drunk, clutching a glass of whiskey. "Vanessa," he said, voice low, "everyone's leaving me." "Everyone?" She wrapped her arms around him from behind. "Don't worry. I won't leave, but you have to listen. I'll get you back on top. I'll lead. You follow Mark, looked up like a child." "You won't leave me?" Vanessa smiled, hiding a different script. "Of course. From now on I call the moves. Do what I say and everything returns." He didn't know he'd just stepped into her trap. In her hotel suite across town, Lisa played Daniel's audio over and over. "I'll use Mark like a puppet." She set the phone down and stared at the Manhattan skyline. "So it's not just my husband's heart you want, Vanessa. You want the company." "Good. The greed will make you easier to drop mourning in a quiet conference room." Lisa faced Frank. In the center of the table sat an external hard drive Daniel had obtained from a well-known hotel Mark and Vanessa frequented. "Lisa," Frank said carefully, "are you sure? If we release this, there's no denying anything. It'll be a scandal, personal and corporate." Lisa sat straighter. "They dragged me through the mud in public. It's time to show who they really are." The next day, board members and select investors gathered. Lisa arrived with a laptop and a projector. The room went still as she played hotel CCTV footage. First clip, Mark and Vanessa, hand in hand, entering a suite. Next, Mark holding Vanessa, whispering, Someday she'll be my only queen. Directors covered their foreheads, others stiffened. Unacceptable. He's still legally married. Mark stood in the corner, pale. Vanessa couldn't look at the screen. Board members, Lisa said evenly, here is proof my husband violated not just his vows, but our corporate trust. While he humiliated me, the truth is here. He used company money to bankroll his mistress. Weeks later, the annulment hearing opened in a New York courtroom. Lisa walked in like a queen, composed, dignified. Across the aisle sat Mark and Vanessa, both worn and defensive. Lisa's counsel introduced the CCTV as evidence. Gasps and whispers rippled from the gallery. Shocking. So it's true. Imagine a CEO caught like this. Lisa took the stand. I didn't bring this case for money. I'm here to defend my dignity and the company we built together. We can't stay blind while he keeps trampling the truth. The judge said little, but the weight in the room was obvious. With each frame of video, Mark seemed to shrink. Vanessa fidgeted, eyes skittering. People stared at her. Homewrecker, gold digger, shameless, hissed from the benches. When asked for a final statement, Lisa stood, calm, voice edged with steel. Your Honor, I didn't choose this fight. They forced it. If this is the only way to restore what's right, I'll see it through. Outside, board members approached Frank. We fully support Mrs. Ramirez. She is the company's strength reporters swarmed Lisa on the courthouse steps. Mrs. Ramirez, will you win? Will you assume full control now? This isn't about winning or losing, she said, steady. It's about putting right where it belongs. And yes, I'm ready to shoulder the responsibilities they abandoned. Mark could barely push through the cameras. Mr. Ramirez, how do you respond to the CCTV scandal? Did you fund Vanessa with company money? He said nothing. Vanessa tried to shove through paparazzi. The crowd only grew angrier. Shameless! An older woman shouted. Demon! Another spat. Vanessa's grip on Mark's arm tightened, but inside she wondered if she'd chosen wrong. Weeks later, Mark plunged further. Instead of rebuilding, he drowned himself in liquor and gambling. Night after night, private rooms and hushed clubs. Another round, he barked, eyes bloodshot. Debts mounted. Old friends turned their backs. He's finished, someone whispered. No future. Back at their place, Vanessa paced, phone in hand. Every night, drunk, he won't think, he won't fight. Mark staggered in, reeking of alcohol and sweat. Vanessa couldn't meet his eyes. Mark, get a grip. I didn't sign up to be your babysitter. He kicked back. You wanted to be my queen? Here's your kingdom, empty bottles and poker chips. Her hope cracked. For the first time, she wondered if she'd chosen wrong. The next day, Vanessa went to find Lisa, not to fight, but to plead. She waited until Lisa finished with new investors, then approached. Lisa, she said softly, desperate, we need to talk. Lisa's gaze was cool. I'm impressed you can still face me. Vanessa moved closer, tears threatening. I'm not here to fight. I'm tired. Mark's drowning. Vices, rage. I don't know what to do. Lisa sat, eyes unwavering. And why tell me? Am I the one you should run to? You're why he's there. Vanessa's lips trembled. Yes, it's my fault too. I didn't think it would end like this. I wanted respect. Now I have nothing. He's slipping away, Lisa breathed out. Listen, I'm not your enemy. Your real enemy is your greed. You grabbed what wasn't yours. Now you're living the result. Vanessa had no answer. For the first time, she felt powerless in front of Lisa. Mark kept sinking. One night in a club, collectors cornered him. Pay up, Ramirez. You don't get a pass because you used to be somebody. He begged, shaking. Please, give me time. No mercy. He fled, lip bloodied, dignity shattered. Laughter followed him into the street. That's the mighty Mark, Pathetic. Vanessa returned from her attempt to speak with Lisa and found Mark passed out on the sofa. She sat, tears sliding quietly. Is this really our ending, Mark? You left Lisa for me. Look what we have. She heard Lisa's voice again. I'm not your enemy. Your greed is. The truth stung. Mark, please, she tried the next morning. Fix yourself. If not for me, then for your name. His eyes were empty. Too late, Vanessa. Everything's gone. Soon you'll go too. They forgot the condo's CCTV, recording their ruin. Late one night, Mark stumbled home. Vanessa stood in the living room, phone in hand, rattled. We need to talk. He dropped his whiskey on the table. Another lecture? She placed an envelope between them. Photos slid out. Vanessa with a well-known American financier who'd once invested in Ramirez Holdings. In the shots, they leaned close at dinner. Too close to be friends. Mark's eyes bulged. What is this? Who is he? Vanessa's voice shook. You don't understand. I've known him for years. Before you, and after everything, he's the only one still willing to help. Mark shot to his feet. Help, or have you been playing me? While I'm humiliated, you're cozying up to someone else? I introduced you as my wife, against Lisa. This is what I get? You don't know everything, Vanessa snapped. You've got no money, no power. You think I can fight for you while we both sink? I had to find a way to survive. Mark turned away, hands trembling. All this time, I thought Lisa destroyed me. But it was you. You stabbed me in the back. Vanessa grabbed his arm. Don't leave me. I did it out of desperation. I still love you. He shoved her away, face hard. If you loved me, you wouldn't trade me for the first man who could pay your bills. You have no heart. You're a fraud. For the first time, Mark left Vanessa, coat on, door slamming, never looking back. By morning, an anonymous account posted the photos. They went viral. The mistress betrayed. Vanessa caught with secret lover. The mockery was savage. Wasn't she the new wife? Guess not. Mistress with a mistress situation. Poor Mark, double humiliation, Vanessa cried, phone shaking. Not only had Mark left, so had the world. Mark wandered cold Manhattan streets without direction, truth heavy in his chest. He ducked into a bar, ordered a drink, stared into the glass. Isn't that Mark Ramirez? Someone whispered. Yeah, the one whose mistress cheated on him. Pathetic. His wife and mistress both ruined him. He shut his eyes. The once admired CEO had become a sideshow. Alone in the flat, Vanessa had no call from Mark, no message from the financier she'd counted on. Silence from everyone. Is this my ending? She asked the mirror. A woman who threw away everything? Lisa's words returned. I'm not your enemy. Your greed is. She felt them in her bones. Clouds hung over the city when an invitation reached Lisa. A European-American business magnate named Alexander Grimaldi wanted to meet. Years earlier, he'd lost heavily to Mark's empty promises. In a black sedan, Lisa rode in silence, wondering what he wanted now. On a rooftop restaurant with a view over the skyline, Grimaldi stood to greet her, tall, silvered, practiced at hard negotiations. Mrs. Ramirez, he said with a soft Italian lilt. Finally, the woman who outsmarted Mark. Lisa's smile was cool, courteous. Mr. Grimaldi, I've heard of you as well. You were one of his victims. Red wine arrived. Grimaldi spoke plainly. I invested heavily in one of Mark's projects. He promised returns. I got losses and humiliation. I thought I was alone. Then I watched you fight him head on. I realized we share an enemy, Lisa thought, then answered. If that's true, we both have reason to make sure he never regains power. Grimaldi nodded. You have legal control. I have resources. Together we can rebuild Ramirez Holdings, stronger. This time without Mark, They talked for 2 hours. He laid out his firm's documents and the capital he'd inject to restore investor confidence. "With my backing," he said, "you can stabilize fast. Investors will return. Clients will trust again. Mark will be a shadow." Lisa's confidence showed. "I'm not doing this for revenge. I'm doing it for everyone who believed in us and got hurt by Mark's lies. If you're ready to stand beside me, I'll accept the alliance." They shook, sealing a new beginning. Days later, Lisa and Grimaldi announced their partnership at a press conference. Media and investors packed the room. "Ladies and gentlemen," Grimaldi began, "from today we form a strategic alliance with Lisa Ramirez. Together we will rebuild trust and take Ramirez Holdings higher." Lisa stood beside him, noble, steady. "I couldn't do this alone. Now I have an ally willing to fight for integrity. To all who believe in me, thank you. To all who doubt, watch us prove you wrong." Applause. Investors queued to shake hands, to ask how to rejoin. Photos of Lisa and Grimaldi spread. #PowerAlliance trended. "She didn't just recover, she leveled up. She's the real deal. Not just a wife, a leader." "Goodbye, Mark. Hello, Queen Lisa." In a dim bar, Mark watched the live coverage, the glass almost shattered in his hand. Grimaldi backing Lisa. The bartender chuckled. "Looks like your wife's smarter than you, buddy." The looks around Mark were no longer respectful, only pity and scorn. He's finished. No place for him now. Dawn broke dark for Mark. Instead of waking as a CEO, he sat in a small rented room with a letter from the board stamped confidential. He opened it, hands shaking. "Effective immediately, the board of directors has voted for your removal as CEO of Ramirez Holdings. All positions, privileges, and powers are revoked." His eyes widened. He sank into the chair. It was over. Outside, 2 men from a bank intercepted him. "Mr. Ramirez, we're here to inform you. Your assets, properties, vehicles, and accounts are officially frozen pending investigation. You have no right to access or liquidate them." A list followed. Greenwich Estate, Malibu home, sports cars, jet shares. One word stamped across each: frozen. People stared as he walked past, phones ready. "Look, it's the fallen tycoon. Thought he was a king. Now he's nothing calmer." 3 contractors stepped into his path, men he'd once shorted. "Remember us, Mark?" one snarled. "You promised payment, left us drowning in debt." They grabbed his collar. "Where's your swagger now?" He struggled, shaking. "Give me time. I have nothing. Lisa, she has everything." "We don't need excuses," another snapped. "We need justice." Security guards finally broke it up. Even rescued, Mark felt the jaws of his past closing in. That night, hiding in a small bar, news rolled on TV. Ramirez Holdings rises again, under Lisa Ramirez and new ally Alexander Grimaldi. Meanwhile, former CEO Mark Ramirez declares bankruptcy. Investigations into management and misuse of funds continue. Laughter bubbled in the room. "Isn't that him?" The loser CEO. Cheers turned to jeers. Mark had no words. Back at his rental, the place was empty. Vanessa, gone. Friends, gone. Family, silent. He sat on the floor, hands to his head. "Lisa, why did you do this?" He wanted to say he chose to destroy her, but he'd destroyed himself. In the midnight quiet, he sobbed like a child, directionless, defenseless. Vanessa sat alone in a tiny sublet, walls papered with headlines and printouts. Homewrecker, mistress betrayed, pathetic. Tears fell, then hardened into anger. "If I fall, I won't let Lisa win. I'll pull her down. I'll take back something." She went to the rundown hotel where Mark now stayed. He opened the door, pale, drunk, barely recognizable. "We need to talk," she pleaded. "You don't get to come near me after the betrayal," he said. She stepped in, desperate, Yes, I messed up, but we're both losers now, both punchlines. If you want to fight back, we work together. I have information on Lisa. We'll use it. Mark stared, uncertain. Why keep going? I'm done. We're done. It's not too late, she said gently but fiercely. We can't let her be the only one standing. The next day, Vanessa dressed up and headed to Lisa's office with a USB stick, documents from a mysterious package. She wanted leverage to smear Lisa. Cold air hit as she entered the lobby. Eyes followed her. Whispers trailed. She lifted her chin and told the receptionist, "Tell Lisa we need to talk. Tell her I have something she won't want public." Before she reached the elevator, 2 bodyguards stepped in front of her. "Miss Vanessa," one said evenly, "by order of Mrs. Ramirez, you're not allowed on the premises or to approach her." "What? You can't stop me. I have the right to speak to her." "No rights here," the other said. "Last warning. Try again and we'll call the police." She pushed, voice rising. "You can't do this. I'm the reason she almost lost everything. She needs to face me." They closed hands around her forearms and guided her back outside. People stared, some smirking, some pitying. "Isn't that the mistress who got dumped and cheated?" "She deserves it." Vanessa clutched her chest. It wasn't just reputation crumbling, it was the last scrap of dignity. Back at her flat, calls to the financier went unanswered. Her number was blocked. Messages to acquaintances lit up, declined. One text finally arrived. "Don't contact me. We can't be associated with you." She sank to the floor, sobbing. "I'm alone. No allies." That night she stared from her window at Ramirez Holdings across the way, bright, alive. Lisa inside, respected, crowned. "Why her?" she whispered, shaking with anger. "He chose me. I endured, but she wins." In her deepest heart she knew the truth. Lisa wasn't why she lost. Vanessa had destroyed herself. A law office conference room fell utterly quiet for the formal meeting of Lisa, Mark, and Vanessa. At the center of the table, annulment papers, the end of one chapter, the start of another. Lisa sat at the head, composed in a black suit. Mark entered, thinner, battered. Vanessa followed, head bowed, pride gone. "Thank you for coming," the attorney began. "We're here to finalize this. Mrs. Lisa Ramirez, your last statement before signatures?" Lisa stood, voice cool but full of dignity. "For a long time I dreamed of hearing sorry from you both. Sitting here, I realize I don't need it. Not because I'm unhurt, but because I learned to heal on my own." She looked at Mark. "I forgive you. I know weakness wins sometimes, but as a husband, no more. As a business partner, never again." Tears lined Mark's lashes. "Lisa, please." "I know it's late. Give me one more chance. I don't know how to live without you." "You don't need a wife to live," she said gently. "You need courage to own your mistakes. I'm not your salvation. You are." She turned to Vanessa. "And you, I have no anger left. Honestly, I pity you. You did everything to become me. In the end, you broke yourself." Vanessa cried, clutching Lisa's hand. "I don't know how to rise. I have no name left, no self. And it's my fault, it is," Lisa answered, not unkindly. "But I won't decide whether you rise. That's yours. Remember, your enemy isn't me. It's your greed." The attorney slid the documents forward. Lisa signed, pen steady. Mark followed, hands shaking, each stroke lightening his chest somehow. "From this day forward," the attorney said, "the marriage of Mark and Lisa Ramirez is annulled. Both parties are free." Silence pressed in, history ending in ink. Lisa stood. "Mark, I hope you find peace. Not in me, not in Vanessa. In yourself. Don't let the past dictate your future." She walked out head high, steps solid, unafraid of her new beginning. Mark remained holding papers like balloons from a former life. Vanessa cried quietly, palm over an empty heart. Months later, Ramirez Holdings blazed again. Under Lisa's leadership and alongside Alexander Grimaldi, Investor Trust returned. The office, once thick with intrigue, now hummed with energy and respect. "Congratulations, Mrs. Ramirez," a board member said as the quarterly meeting ended. "The numbers are better than ever. Investors are pleased." Lisa smiled, calm, authoritative. "This isn't my victory alone. It's ours. Thank you for your trust." Applause. At last, the company recognized its true queen. In upstate New York, Mark sat in an old church, praying. "God, give me another chance, not for wealth but for worth." He drove back to what used to be his grand home. No staff, no luxury, just an old car and boxes. His once feared name now drew only pity and disdain. In the Southwest, rumors swirled that Vanessa had slipped to another city. Some said they spotted her singing in a small Miami bar. No one knew for sure. In the public eye, she was nothing. Once dreaming of a crown, now only a shadow of yesterday. Lisa, smiling and ready to love again, walked a street where a billboard once bore Mark's face as CEO. A new image towered there now, Lisa beneath the words, "Ramirez Holdings, built on integrity, led by strength." Mark looked up, eyes wet. "Lisa, I should have valued you then." Regret was all he had left. One evening, Lisa sat in her office, London city lights replaced by Manhattan's glow. Flowers from Grimaldi rested on her desk. Thanks for a thriving alliance. She read the note. "To the woman who turned pain into power, may this be the start not only of business victories, but new happiness as well." She smiled, setting the card down. For the first time since everything, she felt ready to love again, not as a woman abandoned, but as a woman whole. At a charity gala, Grimaldi invited her as his guest. She wore an elegant gown, simple, dignified. Applause followed her along the carpet. "Mrs. Lisa, you're an inspiration. Proof that dignity wins." Inside, Grimaldi touched her shoulder gently. "You see, Lisa, this world is yours, not because of a last name, not because of Mark, because of you." She smiled toward the distance. "This is a new beginning, and I won't let anyone shatter it again." Thank you for listening. It's Mr. Hope. If you made it here, tell us what you thought in the comments. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so you don't miss any of our new content. Every like, comment, and share helps us keep creating amazing stories for you.